Hello everyone, this is Charlotte and this is a podcast called Chatting in Cars. I pick out random topics and I discuss them at length while I drive places apparently. I'm currently trying to get back onto the road. I've pulled over. There is a disclaimer at the start of this. Ooh, dodging postal vans. Disclaimer at the start of this podcast because I do talk about sensitive topics and I do swear, and yes, I'm not going to stop swearing, but if you feel this is not a good thing for you, you don't have to do it because nobody's going to make you do it. I'm not making you sit down and listen to this crap. I hear this crap in my head all the time. Even I don't want to hear it sometimes. You can absolutely turn it off. Go and listen to something more interesting. There's a lot of documentaries on YouTube if you want to hear that. I love those documentaries. The topic for today is, this drive back from my first mission is New Year's resolutions, because I think that's probably the most appropriate thing considering it's been a huge gap since I've added to this podcast series anyway. I have got 8 more to fill and then I'm changing formats, so this is what I'm going to be doing. New Year's resolutions, we've all got them, right? We all want to change something. We think this is the turning point of a chapter in our life, therefore we have to make some kind of changes, right? If you think about it though, if New Year's technically started in witchy terms or esoteric terms on the 21st of December, so before Christmas. So for me, my New Year's already started ages ago, and I'm well late now if we're going by Judeo-Christian calendar because it's now the 12th, so I'm well late. But I'm taking it as I go. I mean, you can't plan for everything. You can't, even though I'm autistic and I do prefer to have routines and plans. But anyway, I'm trying to learn to be more fluid, and that is a guy who needs to take up the whole road. Oh, sorry. People listening to this, if you need to turn right or left, pull to the middle of the damn road so we can get around you. Who does that? That's just being selfish. No, he was blocking, and I had to go up the edge. Anyway, so bad drivers. Yes, you're going to hear more of that as well because I can't stand shit drivers. We've all got resolutions. We all want to change at some point. Some things, but we're never happy with everything we are at one point. I mean, some people might say, "Oh, I'm happy with the way I am," and that's bullshit because you're just covering up insecurities. Everyone is. We're all covering up insecurities, right? I've got insecurities about my body that I'm not happy about, with my life what I'm not happy about. I mean, no one's going to be absolutely happy all the time with absolutely everything in their life. It's ridiculous. It's inhuman. We've got that natural streak in humanity where I'm never fucking satisfied, which is why we have so many instances of change in our lives. No one's ever really happy with their life. And never consistency. I mean, consistently, at some point you're going to go, well, this is boring, and then change your mind. So there's always room for growth and change and, healing and stuff like that. I know this year I've got a lot of healing to do still, because I'm still partially angry about my ex-boyfriend. You broke up a year ago, shut up. No. No. I'm trying to not to give in to that demon. I'm trying not to hold grudges. I really am. I'm trying to heal that. That's a big thing. Because I know he's a nutcase. He's more of a nutcase than I am, hence the reason he acted like he did. That's part of the healing process, just acknowledging that and moving ahead. Yes, we're going to go with that. It's like, it is mainly his problem. Because I've been watching and listening to the shit that's happening around him and to him while I was gone. And I'm like, you know what? It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I'm not the nightmare he said I was. It was him. I love it. Confirmation. Justice. I love it. But no, I shouldn't. I should detach completely, but I love hearing the stories. I'm one of those people that doesn't like drama, but I like watching it from a distance, And I lived in an area where, people would get into fistfights and shit in the street, and you'd be inside behind the curtains like, I'm not that stupid. There's something sadistic in that, I don't know. Probably. That's an interesting demon. You're supposed to not be watching. You're supposed to say, oh, that's very uncivilized, isn't it? Ugh. And just ignore them. I get a little bit of a kick out of people getting their comeuppance. It's very weird. I think most people do though, right? If someone's been a dick, you're like, yeah, consequence. Fuck you. Are we supposed to enjoy that? I don't know. There is a German word for it. If you listen to the Trevor Noah stand-up, his recent one, there is a German word for it, and it's the only word they haven't translated into English or something like that. I don't know. I can't say the word. It starts with an S. But it's where you get a little kick out of someone getting their comeuppance. And I'm like, yeah. So we've all got it, I expect. We've all got, you know. That's why there's so many things like fail videos existing. You sympathize or you empathize with the pain that they're getting out of it, but at the same time you're like, duh. So, no. It's like, oh, I punched myself in the eye. It's like, oh, that sucks. But then at the same time, that was stupid. So there is something to that. So that's my healing. I need to get away from that. I need to detach completely. There's no positive feeling associated with that person anymore for me. So me hanging on to it is just toxic in itself, even if it's just getting a kick out of him getting his comeuppance. Got to detach completely. I'm never friends with my exes anyway, so there's no reason to stay attached in any kind of way to that. There's no point staying friends with your exes. It's just another, shit fire waiting to happen. Oh, I'm back from the dead and ruining your life. Yay! Oh, fuck you again. But no. I'm convinced my ex-husband's just gone off the planet completely. I can't even find his Facebook or anything. I'm like, this guy's just dead. He could be dead. That was 4 years ago. It's like, I don't know. Oh well. But yeah. I mean, I never go back in time to try and, make something work or heal something like that again. I go back to see what's happening. I'm going, is there an update with this? And maybe for some of us, or for me included, it's a case of I need to know that I made the right decision in leaving. So if you go back and you realize it was them and they've fucked up their life, you're like, yep, right decision. Go get a cookie, you deserve it. Go get it. Yep. I made the right decision. It's confirmation. I mean, if they're living their best life, and that's okay. I'm okay with that too. I'm going, well, maybe, maybe it was just meant to happen this way. Maybe it's better if I didn't go anyway, and maybe it was better for us to break up and stuff like that. So I'm okay with that side of things as well. It's not like I don't want to see people succeed. It's just that I need confirmation that this person who was doing shit things to me was because of them, not because of something I was doing. I'm going, I'm sure I didn't do the wrong thing, I'm sure I was being nice. I think it's confirmation. What is that, confirmation bias or something like that? I don't know. I'm going to have to look into it. It's a psych term I haven't used in ages. So I'm going to have to look into that. So that's one of my resolutions. My other resolution is getting my flexibility back. I'm doing all right so far. When I broke up with my boyfriend last January through to April, I slept on the floor in the spare room in an area the size of a fridge, or a bathtub. It was a very confined space. Fucked up my pelvis completely because it's a hard floor, and it was the better option over risking sleeping in his bed and him coming home drunk and all that kind of business, because he was not one to take no for an answer, especially after he's been drinking. So for my safety, I slept in the spare room. It was a very small spare room, but it did fuck up my pelvis. So that's one thing that I'm annoyed with. But I know I made the right decision because, the risk to reward ratio was way better in my odds if I'd done that one. He was not a safe guy. Oh, no. Yeah, he gave the appearance of it in public, but not a safe guy, not for women. I don't think he likes women. I just don't think he wants to fuck guys. I don't know. The way he showed his version of affection is violent and aggressive and not nice. So I'm not wishing that on any other girl, but you know what? If you want to go and date him, particularly the girl that tried to steal him from me, I'm like, you know what, sweetheart? That's what you want. I'll respect your decision. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm not going to be taking that option because I don't like it. So some people are into it, some people have got some stuff going on. But my pelvis, I'm so glad I've got the majority of my flexibility back. It didn't take much as well, so I'm like, thank God, it was like riding a bicycle. But I still get, like when I do a hip twist, I don't know if you know what that is. You're laying on your back, you pull your knee up, you take it across your body to the left-hand side if it's your right knee. and it twists your pelvis a bit, and you're supposed to sort of ease into it, sort of thing. But for me, that's a tight one, so I have to keep doing that one. That's only the real one that's causing me problems. I can still do all my bend backs and shit like that, so I'm pretty stoked about that. It was only my pelvis. It must have been where I was laying like flat on the floor. It's just not good for you. I was surprised my back didn't go actually, but I used to sleep on the floor at my mum's house all the time when she had me down to work on the farm, and I was used to sleeping on the floor, so I thought nothing of this, but it fucked up my pelvis this time. I must be getting old. Yeah, anyway, so that's one of my resolutions. There is somewhat fat loss. I did put some on over Christmas, New Year's, because I was non-stop eating sugar. I swear I'm an addict. In that regard, if I have one addiction, it will be sugar. For sure. Forget crack, forget alcohol. Ah, man, I was drinking fairly amount with my ex-boyfriend. Like, he is an alcoholic, I swear to God, hands down, he's an alky. But as soon as I stopped hanging around with him, I could put the alcohol down. It didn't make a dent. I didn't feel compelled to keep going. I'm so grateful for that. Because if I had that, where the habit would have continued after I left him, I think everything would have gone spiraling downhill. As soon as I removed him from my life, a shitload of my shit went back down to the routine I had before I met him, or met up with him again. So I'm going back to the gym, I'm eating clean, I'm working a fair amount, I'm getting my money back up. All the money I spent on him, trying to make him happy, I'm getting that back. Work's going to start up again soon, so there's going to be another bulk income coming in. And that's compared to what my business is doing. My main bulk of my income comes from teaching, so. And I'm going to try my new Sparta project, where I'm like skinning things down to the bare necessities sort of thing. Don't start singing that song, I hate that fucking song. Fucking Jungle Book. Damn Disney. It does get stuck in my head very suggestively and easily, which is horrible. Fuck, now it is in my head. Shit! But somebody get another song in my head, please. What did I have in my head the other day? Oh Christ, it would not go away. Anyway, but I think it was the You're Welcome song from Moana. Christ. But you know, once you get out of the company of people that are, you know, promoting and enabling these destructive behaviors, like he was drinking non-stop, he was smoking weed, he was constantly takeaway, there goes all your money. Everything I did, I was trying to keep him happy, because otherwise he'd crack the shits, or he'd be nasty, or, you know, all these things we try and do to keep the peace and things like that. And once you revert back to what you were doing before you met these assholes, you find shit goes back to nice levels of, you know, it's like, I'm not worried about money, I'm not worried about, you know, violent sex, I'm not worried about getting fat, or you know, picking up alcoholism or anything like that, or the nastiness that came out with hanging around with his social group and shit like that. Some people are just pure toxic, and you don't realize until you remove yourself from their company how toxic and how infiltrating their presence is in your life and destroying parts of your life. I'm lucky in that I had, dare I say it, my ex-husband is a positive influence on my health, dare I say it. Because he was a personal trainer, and all my understandings of, you know, protein supplements and things like that came from associated with him. I mean, he was an overt narc, so, you know, he was a complete piece of shit, and he was non-monogamous, but at the same time, he gave me some lessons in how to lift and what to do in the gym and how to behave in the gym with the etiquette, what supplements to take and things like that. So I picked up some good stuff from hanging around with this bad stuff, funny enough. But I could say the same for my ex-boyfriend, because I picked up the good information about learning about things like ETFs and shares and what to do in that kind of case. Sorry, I'm just approaching an orange light, trying to think what to do next. So I picked up some information, but for the most part, this boy was toxic as fuck. So it was a good thing when I left, but now my body's getting back to the leanness it was. Like, I was doing yoga and Pilates and weights and long walks and all kinds of things before I started hanging around with him. So I'm back into that now. My gym doesn't have yoga or Pilates classes, but I'm in an area where I can easily get them if I wanted to pay a bit more extra money, but I can, from what I can remember, I can do my own stuff. And there's always YouTube channels for free. So that's what I'm aiming for. I got an update as well on that guy. I don't know if I told you guys. The yoga guy had a crush on him. Yeah, he's got a girlfriend. It's bullshit. I liked him so much. We had so much in common. It was so, I'm bummed. He unfriended me. And so I'm thinking, oh, okay, all right. That was a while back. And then, because I couldn't get him off my mind, so I'm like, I'll go and ask him out, see if he wants a coffee or something like that sort of thing. And he sent me back a message saying he's got a girlfriend. I'm like, oh, fine. And I'm sure she's fucking lovely. Fuck you. Fuck you. But no, I don't know. I don't know what his circumstances were. Maybe he went back to his girlfriend that was the mother of his kid or something like that. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to make that work. I don't know. There's always more to the story than we understand. So we've got to be more compassionate when we come to things like that. And yes, I missed out on someone who I thought could be maybe compatible with me because he's, you know, he's yoga, he's spiritualist, I'm not spiritualist, I'm divinist, but it's similar, you know, we've got similar thought patterns. He's ex-military, so he's got discipline, and I'm like, oh my God, that is hot. Show me your discipline. Things like that, you know, and there's a lot of things that lined up, but obviously something was off, and so, you know, it didn't work. The timing was wrong, I don't know, or maybe the circumstances were wrong, or, you know. I mean, I'm not the kind of girl to you try and lure someone else's boyfriend away from. I just can't. That's fine. That's beneath me as far as I can see. I can't do that. Like, there was a girl in the social group I just left that was my ex-boyfriend's who she had no problem trying to do that to people's boyfriends and stuff. I'm going, how can you live with yourself, sort of thing? I mean, to her, girls turning up with their boyfriends just like a fucking competition. It's like, I'm going to get what I want. It's greed and it's selfishness and it's ego, and I just couldn't understand why you would be that horrible and mean to someone, but apparently that's how she gets a kick. So I'm like, okay, I'm leaving this fucking social group. Disgusting. Anyway, I'm just going to go hang out with myself and improve myself, because it seems to be the better option than hang around with people that systematically want to tear you down and destroy you in many ways. Plus, I'm pretty sure she was shagging my ex-boyfriend on the side. Given the intimacy level between the two, I'm like, this doesn't feel right. So, yeah, so that's yuck. Anyway, it didn't feel right. I'm going, you guys are way too handsy. It's like, oh, she's just really friendly. It's like, not that fucking friendly, buddy. It's like, no. So I'm like, and I never could build trust with him. So it's just like, you know what, this isn't a loss if I lose him. So, you got to get over the sadness of, you know, unfulfilled dreams coming to an end, but they were never going to be fulfilled, so fuck it. It's not a loss. Looking at the ingredients of that shit pie, it was never going to taste good. It's like, don't eat shit, darling. It's E. coli. You don't want that. You'll be sick. Get it out your mouth. Blah. Come on, everyone. Blah. Poo-poo pants. Yuck. Anyway, enough immaturity. So, I haven't even had coffee today. This is just me on what is iced tea, actually. I've started making my own iced tea because it's a cheaper alternative to coffee beans. I will get into that later. I'm liking it because it's summer here and it's hot and I need to drink water, and I have trouble drinking water. Some kind of weird past life gagging thing. It's the only thing that does make me gag, strange enough, and I'm not even joking about that. Phrasing. Anyway, so the body has to be sorted out. I'm glad I'm getting my flexibility back properly. I feel better about myself emotionally. My hormones aren't all over the place because I'm not eating shit. I've noticed that as soon as I start honing into the sugar, and it is a snowball effect. It will start off with, like, what did I do the other day? It started off with a Kit Kat. Christ, I might as well have just smeared the shit on me. By the end of it, I looked like a mess. But it went into, like, crisps and biscuits and Maltesers and all kinds of things. So I am a bit of an addict, and I do fall off the wagon quite a bit. But you know, as long as you can get yourself back upright again, you should be alright. You gotta know that, okay, so the next day, no. We did this yesterday, so we'll start playing. And it is about a 3-day, it takes about 3 days for my sugar to get out my system. So yeah, as long as I can get over the 3 days, hopefully I'll get back into the routine of eating clean and stuff. But that would be my addiction if I ever had one. Maybe caffeine. Not really any more caffeine. I used to be, but sugar definitely. And I don't know why. I suppose maybe because it's got that seemingly innocent, you know, energy to it. It's like, oh, it's a sweet, it's lovely. No one's going to die if I eat this. But at the same time, you can still develop diabetes and lose limbs and stuff. not good for you. It rot your teeth, rot your brain, rot your body. Guy, come on. Sorry, this truck, for some reason, they stop with a 20-meter span between them and the next vehicle. There has to be a reason for that, because cars do it too. So why do you need that 20-meter run-up at the lights when everybody else is stopped? Is there a reason for the run-up? I don't know. It bugs me, because I'm like, you could have fit 2 extra cars in there. Seems like a waste of area. Why are you doing that? There has to be a reason. So what else is there? As I said before, I'm doing that Spartan challenge. I'm sort of forcing myself into poverty. Not forcing myself. I'm going willingly. I like it. I like the challenge of it. I want to test what I know about, I mean, I grew up in poverty, so I've got some skills, I've got some understanding, which these days I just, you incorporate into yourself, you just take it as normal. It's like, this is just what we do. We don't use air conditioning, we don't use dishwashers. I've got them, I know I've got them now, but it's not in me to habitually use them, because I never had them growing up. There's no point in them being here. It's just a waste of electricity and money and fuss. It's not convenience to me. If anything, it's another stressor. It's like, it's not familiar to me. I don't like it. Which is a bit immature, really, isn't it? It's like, I don't like it. There. And it is meant to be a convenience, but I don't have that many dishes. And then again, that's left over from me growing up in poverty. We didn't have a lot of stuff that was needed. I don't have a lot of dishes to wash. I think I have 3 plates, a couple of bowls. There's not a lot there. It's not like I'm holding big dinners and shit like that, so I don't need the dishwasher. I can't stand dinner parties as it is, to be honest. They sound pretentious and wanky. Oh yes, tell me about your boring life. Wonderful. Ugh, as if mine's not boring enough. When do we get the boiled goose? So, don't eat boiled goose. Just sounds wanky. I hate dinner parties. I do. It's like I'm stuck in a room with a bunch of people you can't stand. And if you're a non-drinker like me, it's just intolerable. It's like, I don't want to know you people. Don't you want them to be your friends? Aren't they useful for networking and social shit? It's like, I don't like you. I don't like any of you. These are not my friends. These are not people I would normally associate with unless you're under, particular circumstances. Can we not just cut the shit and do the business deal now? Or, why does everything have to be sugar-coated and greased? It's like, just cut the shit. We've all got stuff to do. But no, I'm looking forward to it. I'm skimming down my expenses. I've definitely cut down on my electricity, I know that much, because I'm just turning everything off all the time, and I'm getting out of habits, and I'm utilizing resources around me, so my surrounds. I'm utilizing my gym a bit more, so resources from the gym are now finding their way into my home. Not that I'm nicking equipment. But like body wash in the showers and stuff like that is not a loss, not going astray, and I have paid for it, so technically it's mine. You nicking stuff again, you bloody dipper. How did you know I had gypsy in my heritage? How did you know? But no, all these things growing up, where I used to mock my dad for bringing home packets of sugars from McDonald's and things like that. I'm sitting there going, no, go in the stevia instead. It's like, it's better for you. I mean, we're coming into extreme times now. The economy's fucked because of COVID, because of the Ukrainian war, because of, people losing their jobs and businesses, everything. I'm sitting there going, no, this is what should have been the new normal, where everything goes back to, solvable, comfortable levels of existence. No, we don't have it anymore. We're going to have to start looking at what we're doing and see what is surplus and not needed, and just bougie, so it's just not needed anymore. We're going to be refining our skills in saving money and making things work and fixing things, and I'm loving that side of things, because I'm naturally fixing things anyway. With anything that breaks in my house, it's not in me to just throw it away. We weren't taught to just throw it away. We fix it, because you're not going to get another one. So you might as well fix it. So like my umbrella, which I've had for about 10 years now, I've fixed countless times, because A, I love the umbrella because it's got a giant monarch butterfly on it, and B, I know I don't have another one. I do have another one, but it's too big and I don't like it. But you just keep fixing it, because these are the things you love. You don't want to throw them away. It's like a relationship. You fix it if you love it, and it has to be love, not just codependence. I'm not getting sucked into that codependent cycle again. Don't bother fixing codependency, it's bullshit. It is a waste of time and resources and often one-sided relationship. But my umbrella is lovely. I got it from the British Museum and it cost me £50 and I'm making it worth every cent. Penny, whatever, I don't care. But things like that I fix. I'm relishing that because I'm also like, I like crafty stuff, so I like making stuff. I've got a wardrobe full of dresses I've made. Expensive material in hindsight, but that was when I was feeling very frivolous. But I bet I can do it better. That's the mindset. It's like, I've done this already, I bet I can do it better. I bet I can find a better way of doing that, or an easier way of doing it, or a cheaper way of doing that, or a more efficient way of doing it. That's what my approach is for this year, and I'm going to be doing it up until April. If I like doing it, if I get into the habit of doing it, and it's, you know, beneficial in the long term, I might carry it on past April. But April is my goal because that's when I have to sign my next new lease. I'm going to be signing... Oops, someone can't merge. I'm going to be signing my lease for a solid year in April, this one coming up. But then the following April, I'm going to put it on periodic so I can buy my house. So for the next year or so, I will be saving thriftily, being resourceful and things like that. And I love it. It's a real... I mean, it's kind of like a commando spirit. I love that kind of shit where they have to utilize what they got. That's why I love watching the Ukrainians at this moment, because they're taking... When this war first started, they didn't have the best resources, but they were making do, and they were winning because they took the shit bit and made it work. That's what I love about them. They're fucking resourceful. You got the supposed might of the Russians against these Ukrainians. They've not really got the same might, but at the same time, they're fucking good at what they have got. And that's why I love them, because they're adaptable. They just get on with it. But then again, who picks a fight with a bunch of people that have, you know, been eyeballing? You know what it is you had Russians against the border of Ukraine for fucking years. And the Ukrainians have been sitting there prepping. They're like, we know what's coming. The fuckers are eyeballing us. And then they finally kick it off and they're like, right, fucker, let's do this. And then everyone went, oh, that's bad. All right, have some more toys. So the Ukrainians are like, yes, upgrades. So they've already got the skill sets and the adaptability. And then we're giving them these really cool toys to play with to get the job done. So I'm fucking loving this. I don't think the Russians got a fucking leg to stand on at this point, because these Ukrainians are so fucking motivated. And now we're giving them the tools to get the job done. They're like, right, fucker. That's what I'm loving about the whole... I mean, it's a horrible circumstances, obviously. It's horrible. It should never have happened. It's an illegal war as far as I'm concerned. Most wars are illegal. Who honestly goes to war properly? There's a lot of fudging going on in the paperwork, I can assure you. But, Christ, the loss of life is ridiculous. I hate that. That's what I hate as much. Because it's not just the Ukrainians that are losing lives. It's the Russians that didn't want to go to war in the first place that are, you know, being forced into it and all this extra shit that's going on for the sake of one boomer's fucking bucket list. And it just gives me the shits, that bit. But I'm glad that they're using their resourcefulness, because they were the underdog at the start. They really were. Because you got the might of Russia and all that shit. Which honestly is turning out to be a lot of bravado and no fucking testosterone, really. I'm going, are you sure you knew what you were working with when you started? You sure? But you know, war is so uncertain. Anyway, but I love the resourcefulness of this Spartan approach I'm taking. I don't feel like I'm going without. Whereas if you were entering it involuntarily, you'd feel honestly like you're going without, and these are shit circumstances. And I've been there, and I know what it's like, and you hate yourself, and you hate your circumstances. You get angry with everyone around you because you can't get what you want or you need, and it is tough. It is fucking tough, and I feel for anyone that has to go through it now, because I've been through it. I've been homeless. I've been to food banks. I've been stuck with cunts stuck with assholes who will leech off you even when you're down. I've been there. I know that one. which is why I avoid them now. So you learn your lessons. Yes, I did say the C word. Some people find it offensive. To me, I don't see how it's different from saying dick or balls. It's female genital. It's the same. It sounds abrasive, but you know, I don't know. I don't know. Why is that one dirty and that one isn't? I don't know. Whatever. Genitals. Anyway, carry on. But I'm loving the challenge of it. Oh, my sensibilities. Oh, fuck. But you know, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm nearly home now, because I'm going to have to wrap it up soon. I'm looking forward to the challenge. I want to try and remember as much as I can from what I learned as a kid and what I saw my parents do and what I've seen people around me do, and try and sort of condense it into an experience. I know it's not permanent, so I know I'm not you know, going to be killing myself doing this. I want to understand what people are going through more from an adult perspective. Because it's different when you're a kid, because you just think, oh, this is shit. Particularly if you're a little bogan child. Like, fuck it. It's fucking shit, man. But I was not a bogan child. But they're there. But from adult perspective, and I want to see if I can refine it a bit more and make it a bit more easier, or you know, more efficient and things like this. You know, because I've got access to Google thing now. I mean, first of all, when you're a kid, when you're younger, everything you learned from your peers, or you learned from word of mouth, or maybe you went researching in books and stuff like that. Now we've got Google. We've got an even wider span that we can cast our nets for information. So absolutely, I'm going to be researching it a hell of a lot more. I'm watching avidly what people in the UK are doing. I'm loving what they are doing to try and save electricity, gas, things like that, money, where they're doing their shopping, how they're doing their shopping. I want to know everything. I'm so proud of them. Anyway, what else? You know, I want to adapt my day to what they're doing, and I want to, you know, because we're not facing the same kind of shit in Australia. I mean, it sucks. I can't find eggs. But what did I do? I stopped buying so many eggs. It's not exactly the same. You've got people in the UK that are like going downhill. They're losing jobs and houses and everything, and there's a housing crisis, and there's an energy crisis, and a food crisis, and employment crisis, and I'm sitting there going, fuck me, my people. I need to help my people. They're going through so many crises, and there's COVID and the NHS, and everyone's going on fucking strike, and we're all like, so I need to know, and I need to feel what they're going through. I need to feel it, not just see it, not just read it. I want to feel it, so I want to put myself in those circumstances as much as I can. Of course, in a safe way. I'm not psychotic. In a safe way, and understand how they're going. I want to know. So I'm going to go full Spartan for a year or so. If I like it, I'll carry it on. I like the efficiency side of things. That's my main resolution this year. And it's not just to get money out of it. Money will be a blessing, of course. The money comes from me just putting my wage aside, to be honest, but I'm cutting back severely. Hey, that's not your parking spot. That's not your parking spot. Who are you? It's usually a guy with a big black Navara next to me. Somebody's taking your spot. You see, I'm a bit anal when it comes to things like that. I don't know why. It's too strong a sense of justice. I will make this right. And they'll sit there trying to pull out someone else's car from the parking spot. It's okay, I saved your spot. He's pushing in line, kill him. Wait, that's a bit extreme. Yeah. That could be the autism. Strong sense of justice, it is a characteristic of it. So, I don't know where you guys are going to go with your resolutions. I absolutely say you should try and make resolutions, because it all comes from growth. Even if you don't achieve them, there's nothing wrong with that. It is down to how much you want to put into it, obviously. You've got to really want it. At the moment, with the Spartan thing, I'm intensely motivated because I'm constantly watching the news, and I'm constantly watching feeds through my YouTube or my Facebook or anything like that, where people are making these leaps and bounds in achievements and things like that when it comes to being thrifty or resourceful or making stuff like around the house. And I fucking love that. I do. I love it so much because I come from a poverty background and I know the shit bit of the stick. And I love it when I can see people succeed and get on with things. I love it. I love it. I want to see what else they can do. Because when COVID hit, they were so fucking resourceful again. And I'm like, oh my God, you guys are awesome. I'm going to keep watching. So, you know, I fucking love that shit. So, and I want to use this. It's such good ideas and things to do that I'm like, I want to incorporate it into my life. You guys, I'm loving what you're doing. What are you doing? Show me more. So that's my motivation. That's an intrinsic motivation. Anything like you can go to the gym to lose the bit of squidge I gained over Christmas and New Year's is kind of like a sideline at this point. It will happen inevitably because the practices I'm going to be instilling in the Spartan approach is, you know, it's just aligned to lose weight. It's aligned to save money. It's, you know, I'm more interested in the collecting and living and recording of the experiences than anything like that. And I think I'll put it out in an ebook if I ever get around to writing it. I've got a bunch of other ones set up to go. My ebooks, and I'll maybe try and put a link in the podcast or something like that. I don't know. But that's my challenge to you. And I'm hoping you guys have got something you can work towards, because you need something to work towards, don't you? I mean, it's not just the humdrum everyday bullshit mediocrity that we have to live through. That's how you get bored and complacent and you start hating things. So if you've got yourself a goal or something to move towards, it's going to make your life a hell of a lot easier, a hell of a lot more interesting. The tricky part is actually setting the goal. What do you actually want to do? Next comes the steps to do it and actually doing it. Some people get so, you know, set in their ways that they're happy with the way things are and they're comfortable and they don't feel there is anything to change. But then there's always like the 3 o'clock in the morning wake up and you're like, I can't fucking sleep. Oh my God, I fucking hate this shit. So every now and again, it's good to have an existential crisis. So I'm hoping you guys are riding the wave of that like I am. All right, I'm going to leave it there because I pulled up and I have to go and eat something now because I'm starting to get low on my blood sugar. I'm hoping you guys have a fantastic day. It is, what day is it? Thursday? Oh, my goodness. Anyway, I've got a couple more weeks of my school holidays. I've got, 7 more podcasts after this one to do. So hopefully I will be able to get those done in the next, how many weeks? 3 weeks or so. Have a great one, guys, and I'll see you later.
So space, night, death, darkness, not being there is an essential component of being there. You don't have the one without the other. That's the way being is made up.